So here we have a beam of weight 10 newtons. As you can see, 10 newton is passing through the center. Then we have two boxes kept on either side. One box is 100 newtons. The second box, the smaller box, is 40 newtons weight. This beam is kept on a support over here. So we need to figure out this value of L. L is basically the distance between the support and the second box. According to the question, the beam is balanced, which means it is in equilibrium. So let us recall the three steps of solving questions like this. Step number one is to draw the free body diagram. Now, all the forces acting on the beam are already shown in the diagram. The 100 newtons on the left, we have this Fn, the normal reaction coming from the support. 10 Newton is the weight of the beam, and this 40 Newton is coming from this box. This is step number one. Step number two is to balance the forces, which is linear equilibrium, which is net force is equal to 0. So total upward forces and downward forces needs to be equal. In this case, we have only one upward force Fn and downward forces are three. So 100, 10 and 40, those are all the downward forces. So hence the equation becomes Fn is equal to 100 plus 10 plus 40, which comes out as 150. So the value of Fn is 150 newtons. That was step number two. Step number three is balancing the torques, which is rotational equilibrium. So we need to figure out the total torque and we put that equal to 0. But like always, before we find the torque, it is important for us to figure out a point about which the torque is to be found. So we can figure out torque about any point. So for this question, let's take the support point as the point about which torque is to be found. So finding the torques about this support point. So since Fn is passing through the support point, so torque due to Fn will definitely be 0. On the other hand, what about this 100 Newton force? So the magnitude of force is 100 and the distance of this 100 Newton from the support is 3 meters. So the torque due to 100 Newton, let's write it down. It is 3 into 100 into sine 90, which comes out as 300 Newton meters. And the direction of this torque will be anti-clockwise. Torque due to Fn, that is definitely 0 since Fn is passing through the support point. Next off, we have this 10 Newton force. So the magnitude of F is 10 Newtons. Now we need the R value. R is the distance of 10 Newton force from the support point, which means this is the distance which we have to find for the torque due to 10 Newton. And how much is this distance? How do we figure that out? This point about which 10 Newton is passing, this is the center of the beam, which means the distance of this point from the extreme left, this will be half of the total length. Total length is 10 meters. So the length which we have to figure out, the distance from the leftmost end to the centermost point, that will be half of 10 meters, which is 5 meters. So this is 5 and this small length is 3 meters. So this distance which we require will be 5 minus 3, which is 2 meters. Hence, the torque due to 10 Newton force will be written as 10 multiplied by 2, which is the distance which we just calculated, multiplied by sine 90. And this gives us the value as 20 Newton meter. And the direction of this 10 Newton force about the support point will be clockwise. One more force is left, 40 Newtons. So the torque due to 40 Newtons will be equal to, see, the magnitude is given as 40. But the distance between the 40 Newton force till the support point, this distance is equal to L, which we have to figure out. So the torque due to 40 Newton force will be L into 40 into sine 90, which comes out as 40L. And the direction of this torque is also clockwise. Now, since we have to balance the torques as the beam is in rotational equilibrium, we have to balance all the clockwise torques with all the anti-clockwise torques. So we have two clockwise torques here, torque due to 10 and torque due to 50. So we will add them and equate that with the anti-clockwise torque, which is torque due to 100. Now, if we put all the values in, we will get this expression 300 is equal to 20 plus 40L. And if we make L as the subject, we will get 7 meters as the answer to this question.